she's so fine. Hell of her blows my mind. Hell of her lights my day.
What's good, guys? This story is coming out of Baytown, Texas. I want to thank Marie722 for sending it to me. It's coming via Niera Savage with the Atlanta Black Star. Wrongful death suit filed by family of Pamela Turner, who was shot while on the ground by Texas officer, claims apartment complex and officer conspired to have her evicted. The city of Baytown, Texas failed to adequately train its officers on how to de-escalate situations involving people with mental illness, according to a wrongful death lawsuit filed against the city by the family of Pamela Turner on April the 8th. Pamela Turner was fatally shot by Officer Juan Delacruz in May of 2019 as the officer was patrolling the parking lot of the Brixton Apartments. Officer Delacruz, the City of Baytown, and Cypress Point Equity Partners, which manages the apartment complex where 44-year-old Pamela Turner resided and was killed, are named defendants in the lawsuit. Quote, what Delacruz did was not extend any consideration, any professionalism, or any humanity to Pamela Turner, end quote, said Benjamin Crump, the family's lawyer, outside of a Houston courthouse. The lawsuit seeks punitive damages. Quote, today is a very hard day for me and my family as we should be celebrating my mom's 46th birthday. Instead, we're here once again in front of all of you, demanding justice for the life that was taken from her. Not only taken from her, but taken from us, end quote, Turner's daughter Chelsea Rubin said the day the lawsuit was filed. According to the lawsuit, the Brixton apartment complex manager made fun of Pamela Turner's mental health issues, and she broke his glasses and scratched him in response, which resulted in charges of misdemeanor criminal mischief and assault. When Pamela Turner failed to appear in court, 2 warrants were issued for her arrest. According to Turner's family, she suffered from schizophrenia and had received her diagnosis years prior. Officer Delacruz was patrolling the parking lot near Turner's apartment building on the night of May the 13th when he approached her because he knew there were warrants for her arrest. According to Ben Crump, Turner was picking up trash off the ground at the time and putting it in garbage bins, something she did often. Footage of the incident recorded by a witness was widely circulated on social media at the time of the shooting. Quote, I'm actually walking to my house, end quote, Turner told Delacruz in the video. Quote, you're actually harassing me, end quote. In a struggle, Delacruz deployed his taser and Turner fell to the ground as the officer stood over her when police claimed she had gained possession of the taser. Delacruz then fired 5 shots. Turner was pronounced dead at the scene. According to the lawsuit, Delacruz, who also worked as a security officer at Brixton, tried to arrest Turner to help the apartment complex evict her. The suit alleges Pamela Turner had received an eviction notice that very same day. Pamela Turner allegedly feared Officer Delacruz because he had previously threatened to shoot her. The suit alleges that arresting Pamela Turner, quote, would resolve Cypress Point and Delacruz's problem of where to send Turner when she was removed from her apartment, end quote. It accuses Officer Delacruz of excessive force and claims Cypress Point violated the Fair Housing Act by discriminating against Pamela Turner because of her mental illness, end quote. According to the lawsuit, Baytown was aware that its officer was regularly helping to carry out evictions from private housing. The police department claimed Delacruz acted in self-defense because Pamela Turner had possession of the stun gun. But according to Crump, the officer knew that this taser could not be deployed a second time. Quote, he absolutely knew that taser could not be fired again without her changing that cartridge, end quote. Turner's family attorney Ben Crump told Houston Public Media. Quote, and he did not have to use deadly force while she was laying on her back, end quote. Delacruz's attorney has said the taser still posed a threat because the officer could have been shocked if he stood on one of the deployed wires or if the woman had pressed the taser against him. In September, Delacruz was indicted by the Harris County Grand Jury on one charge of aggravated assault by a public servant. The officer has not been fired, and he faces up to 5 years to life in prison. He is scheduled to appear in court on May the 25th. Tomorrow, on May the 13th, which marks 2 years since Turner's death, Ben Crump, Breonna Taylor's mother, and a number of other people will march through Baytown, Texas, calling for accountability for Pamela Turner's death. Yeah, I'm siding with Ben Crump on this one. If she had the taser, it wouldn't have fired a second time without that cartridge being changed. So she posed no deadly force towards him. She couldn't have done anything with him. So why he shot her, and why he shot her 5 times, that's very, very extreme. It is really sad when you have someone with mental illness, and you know a lot of people try to pray it away, but counseling and getting mental health treatment is the best thing in the world if we can end the stigma attached to it. But it's really sad that it's really like a conflict of interest when you have a police officer who also works as a eviction person at the apartment, and they know that Pamela Turner has mental illness. Just, it sounds like they were treating her pretty bad at the apartment complex. And that's really sad. Really sad. So they're going to march tomorrow. I think that's great. They need to. And it's really sad also that Delacruz still has his job. That's hard for me to handle right there. I'm going to end the video on that note, but I will follow up on that march tomorrow and cover that as well. So thanks for watching, guys.